Well, alright, welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios. And, well, today I am doing yet another track versus track. And I decided I wanted to do a couple of Simon Garfunkel albums against one another. I've done Simon Garfunkel before. I think I did Sounds of Silence versus Parsley Sage. Well, today I'm doing 1968's Bookends versus 69 or 70, I don't know, I'm a little hazy, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Yeah, I think it came out, it's 70, right? Yeah, they recorded this into December 69, so this is a 70 album. Yeah, Bookends versus, versus Bridge Over Troubled Water. Now, Bookends technically has 12 tracks, and Bridge Over Troubled Water 11, but what I did is, well, there are two bookends. There's bookends at the beginning of side one on Bookends, and Bookends reprise, whatever. So, you know, I cut it down to just one Bookends to make it an even 11, and I have ranked all the tracks as per usual, from 11 up to 1, and that's how I'm putting up against one another. And here we go. Let's get started. Let's get a tally sheet going. Bookends versus Bridge. All right. Okay, well now, so coming in number 11, at the very bottom, on Bookends, as you might have suspected, anybody who knows this album probably saw this coming from a million miles away, Voices of Old People. Yeah, you know, Voices of Old People, it isn't even a song. It's a full track. I mean, it's a good full track length. It's a good couple minutes long, but it's just dialogue. Art Garfunkel, I guess he went to an old folks home or whatever, and he just recorded people's conversations and their comments. Maybe he interviewed people, asked them things about aging, because a lot of the stuff is to do with, you know, with growing older. It's because side one, it's like a half of a concept album, Bookends, and you know, this is sort of part of that whole thing. And it works fine within the context of the album, but as its own track, I mean, it's not going to stand up against anything, right? Let's find out, because what I have at number 11, at the very bottom of Bridge Over Troubled Water, is Bye Bye Love. Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel, their cover of the Everly Brothers' great 50s, late 50s, early 60s hit, Bye Bye Love. And, you know, I think I suspect they probably knew this was their last record. They were barely able to finish the damn thing because they could hardly stand each other at this point. And, you know, I think this is like a little nod to their early influences and kind of going out the way they came in a way. And, but what do I choose between these? Voices of Old People and Bye Bye Love? Well, of course I choose Bye Bye Love. I'm not a big fan of this cover of Bye Bye Love. I always kind of thought it was it's a little half-assed. Like, it kind of sounds like something that they, like, oh shit, we need another track. You know, we have to cut Cuba C, Nixon No off this album. What do we do? Oh, okay, well, let's just do a really quick version of Bye Bye Love. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a total afterthought, like they did it in 5 minutes. It probably isn't even another take of it. But at least it's a song, and it's a great song. And, of course, you know, got to get an extra nod to the great Everly Brothers. So, yeah, Bye Bye Love gets that. Bridge Over Troubled Water gets the first point. Okay, so coming in number 10 on Bookends, I have At the Zoo. Yeah, the final track in the album. You know, I think I've mentioned this before whenever I've talked about this album, but Bookends is like the Magical Mystery Tour of Simon and Garfunkel. It's basically, side one is all new material, and side two is all the recent singles that hadn't come out on albums. So, yeah, just like Magical Mystery Tour. But it comes together as a really amazing record. I'm sure if you were actually buying this new in the day, it probably seemed kind of like a ripoff. But, you know, I didn't get this album until the 80s when I was a teenager. I mean, you know, future generations are just going to discover this album and go, holy shit, this is just an incredible album. And At the Zoo is one of the singles, and it's the last song on the album, and that goes up against what I have at number 10 on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is Why Don't You Write Me? I like the song okay. This is another song that if I'm just listening to the whole album and it comes up, I enjoy it good. You know, I enjoy it enough. It's not a bad track, but it is kind of weak. And, yeah, it loses to At the Zoo. At the Zoo is way better. way, 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 way better. No problem. Okay, so coming to number 9 on Bookends, the title track, Bookends theme. You know, which, as I mentioned, there's Bookends theme kind of intro at the beginning, and then Bookends theme reprise at the end of side 1. It's all coming together as one track here for me. Bookends theme, number 9. And that goes against what I have at number 9 on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is Song for the Asking. Song for the Asking is the closing track. You know, Bye Bye Love kind of gives way to this song. It's kind of a fade in. And a crossfade. And I've never been the hugest fan of Song for the Asking. It's kind of just a short solo Paul Simon acoustic piece. Good song, just not a favorite piece. Bookends theme is, of course, also just a really short acoustic piece that I think is way better. Way better. I by far prefer Bookends theme. So far, the choices are pretty easy, but I have a feeling it's going to get a little tougher as we get towards the top. Okay, so coming to number 8 on Bookends, A Hazy Shade of Winter. Yeah. And that goes against what I have at number 8 on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is Baby Driver. No, not the Kiss song. Yeah, when I first got this record, I was like, Baby Driver? Did Kiss cover a Simon Garfunkel song? Oh, no, okay, that's a different song. Okay, alright, so Baby Driver against A Hazy Shade of Winter. Another easy one. Absolutely easy. Hazy Shade of Winter. No contest. Yeah, Baby Driver is... I think it's good. It's perfectly fine. Wasn't it a B-side? Isn't it the B-side of the Boxer or something like it? Yeah, that's kind of how that song sounds to me. It sounds like a B-side. But I like it. Again, the album's playing. I enjoyed that song enough. But it's no match for Hazy Shade of Winter. Okay, coming in number 7 on Bookends. Let me wet my whistle here. My mouth's feeling dry. Number 7 on Bookends, Save the Life of My Child. The kind of the first song on the album. The album opens with the Bookends theme intro, but really this is the first song on the album. Save the Life of My Child, and I put that against what I have at number 7 on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is Cecilia. Yeah, one of the big, humongous singles for Bridge Over Troubled Water. And God, this is another easy one. Cecilia, yeah, come on. Save the Life of My Child is great and everything, but yeah, it's no match for Cecilia. Okay, coming in at number 6 on Bookends, we have Overs. Yeah, Overs, man. Getting into some good stuff here. Okay, and that goes against what I have at number 6 on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is Bridge Over Troubled Water, the title track. This is a little bit more of a thinker. Oh. Okay, we finally hit one where I'm going to have to sit here and think about it a moment. Bear with me. Overs. Oh, man. I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh, come on, Bridge Over Troubled Water." But it's not that simple for me. I mean, they're both great ballads, but of course, Art completely just tears the joint down for the entirety of Bridge Over Troubled Water. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Overs. Yeah. I am not going with Bridge Over Troubled Water. I know you think I'm insane. You guys are going to come in the comments and go, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, Bridge Over Troubled Water is incredible in every possible way. It's a masterpiece of the highest order, any way you slice it. As a piece of writing, as a performance, as a production, as a recording. Art Garfunkel, it's his tour de force, right? I've never loved that track that much. not as much as the track deserves to be loved, and not as much as you love it. I love it, just not as much. Overs, I think I love a little bit more. Strangely. Okay, I have to cut in here. I'm doing an extra little reshoot bit here because I made a big mistake here. Bridge Over Troubled Water wins this because for some reason in my head I was conflating overs with old friends. Now, Bridge Over Troubled Water absolutely wins over overs, but it would not win over old friends. But it's not going against old friends. It was going against overs, and Bridge Over Troubled Water wins. Okay, all right. So after that epic dilemma, let's go for number 5. My number 5 on Bookends, Old Friends. Ooh, hoo-hoo. Okay, and that goes because what I have number 5 on Bridge Over Troubled Water. Let me just say bridge now. That's a mouthful. Bridge. Number 5 on bridge. Keep the customer satisfied. Ooh. Oh. Man. Gee, it is great to be back home. Doot, doot, doot. Home is where I want to be. Oh, man. But old friends? Oh. Ooh, this is actually really tough. These are very, very different kinds of songs. Old Friends is also a really, dramatic ballad. Epic, dramatic ballad. And Keep the Customer Satisfied is like a peppy pop song that I love. Fuck, but I gotta go with Old Friends. I really love Keep the Customer Satisfied. I would love to give it to that. But Old Friends. Yeah. Okay. So coming in number four on Bookends, Mrs. Robinson. Yeah. One of the singles that is on side 2. It was originally on the Graduate soundtrack, obviously, but it wasn't originally from a Simon Garfunkel album. Well, they put it here. And it goes against what I have at number 4 on Bridge, which is So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright. Ooh, boy, has this always been one of my favorites on this album. And I'm giving it to that one. Yeah, I'm going with Frank Lloyd Wright over Mrs. Robinson. Yeah. Now, I will admit, burnout is a factor here. It's not the song's fault. Shut up. I don't care whose fault it is. All I know is that I've heard that thing enough to where I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. Period. So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright. I love that as much as I ever have. Possibly more. Yeah, that gets it. Okay, so number 3. Bookends. I have Punky's Dilemma, the second song on side 2. Now, Punky's Dilemma is on the single side. It was not a single, but it was a Graduate soundtrack outtake. Yeah, they wrote and recorded, Paul Simon wrote that and they recorded it for the soundtrack for The Graduate, and Mike Nichols or whoever it was went, they didn't like that one. They didn't like it, so they cast it aside and ended up on this record. One of my favorite tracks on this album, Punky's Dilemma. And, that goes up against what I have at number 3 on Bridge, which is El Condor Pasa. Oh. Ooh, man. See, now Punky's Dilemma is a really kind of a whimsical, distinctly 67, 68 kind of a thing, I wish I was a Kellogg's cornflake, some I Am the Walrus type lyrics. Man, but when it really hits home is that moment when Art comes in. South California. And it's just this brief moment that happens just once in the song. And it's my favorite moment in the whole track. But I have to go with El Condor Pasa. Yeah, I have to. Because that's an entire track of utter beauty. Along, of the level of, South California. And I love all the entirety of Punky's Dilemma, but El Condor Pasa, Just takes it. That's all there is to it, man. Okay, all right. So coming number 2 on Bookends, I have the opening track on side 2, Baking It. I would argue that's kind of a B-level single. B-level meaning like, well, B-level hit. Not a B-level single, a B-level hit. You heard it on the radio at the time, but it didn't really survive past that. I mean, the 1972 Simon Garfunkel's Greatest Hits album, it's not even on there. Like, every people had forgotten about it by then. But it's a great, great track. I have it all the way up at number 2 on this album. And that goes up against, whoa, what I have at number 2 on Bridge, which is The Only Living Boy in New York. Oh, God. Faking It versus the only living boy in New York. Oh, that's really tough. Very different songs. The Only Living Boy in New York is just a beautiful, wistful, kind of epic, kind of dramatic ballad. Well, the chorus kicks in and gets really dramatic, and it's just goes into epic territories. But Faking It is just a great kind of psych pop single, and I'm a sucker for psych pop, of course. But I'm also a sucker for a great ballad. Oh. Wow, this is the toughest one yet. I would almost say that it's a tie. But they're also so different from one another. But what do I like more? Neither. I don't like any of them more. Either of them more. I love them both. Faking It. Again, bear with me. I really have to think this over, because as usual, it's a life or death choice I have to make here. I guess I'm going Only Living Boy in New York. I think it looks like I am. I just marked it. Yeah, I guess I am. Ah, fuck. Okay. Yeah, Only Living Boy in New York won, but by undetectable amounts. Okay? Alright. Okay, alright. So that brings me to my number 1 on Bookends. America. Not only easily my favorite song on this album, but easily one of my very, very favorite Simon Garfunkel tracks. I mean, like, top 3. Easily. That begins what I have at number 1 on Bridge. Jeez. The Boxer. Oh. Oh, America versus the Boxer? Oh, shit. Oh. Well, prepare to sit and watch me puzzle for a while, because this is far more difficult than the one I just did. Oh, fuck. America versus the Boxer. Oh, damn. This is such a tie, I can't even tell you. But I have to choose. Fuck. Man, this hurts. No matter which one I choose, it's gonna hurt bad. You know, to not choose the other one. Man. You might think I'm insane. I'm going with America. Yeah, I'm going with America. It's so close. But I'm just barely going with America. And you know, in 5 minutes from now, I might go, you're insane. And when I'm editing this, yeah, I'm probably going to be like, what the hell are you doing? But right now, I'm telling you, I'm going with America. Okay, alright, so there you go. 2 epic Simon & Garfunkel albums. Bookends, Bridge Over Troubled Water. And what won? What do I have here? Bookends got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Bridge got 5. So, So Bookends 1 by 1. All right. Well, I guess it stands to reason. I guess I didn't really say. I actually like Bookends a little bit more than Bridge, but Bridge is it's a titan, so it can stand up, as you can see. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing if you have, and if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing, and if you do, click the little bell for notifications. But come back. Actually, before I say what's coming up next week, I have to say, special shout out to Ralph Vieira of the Almost Human channel. He's the one that started the whole track versus track thing, and I totally stole his idea, and he was totally cool about it, so I totally salute him. All right, but come back on Thursday, because Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Boyd are going to be right back here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios, and we are going to be discussing the worst Kiss tracks. Yeah, it's going to be an entire episode, an entire video of worst ofs. Yeah, we're going to spend the entire time throwing complete shade at all the Kiss songs that we don't like. Yeah, it's going to be our top worst Kiss songs. All you Kiss fans, you're going to have to hold tight, because it's going to be a rough ride, but it's okay. Don't worry. You'll get through it. All right. See you then, I hope.